Sterle.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. Well, I've got to tell you, I've heard some contributions in this joint. That was one of the worst. And I'll tell you why, Senator Stoker, no, seriously, before you start slurring this side of the chamber, I'll throw a challenge out to you, through you, if I may. How many enterprise agreements I've negotiated over the years, how many negotiations I entered into as not only a delegate, as a long-distance owner-driver, but also as union organiser in 28 years on the job. How many men or grown men, Senator Stoker, have you had in your office on Friday night bursting into tears when they found their job go down the road? So how dare you? How dare you use that language? How dare you try to mislead those that may be listening or reading and the Qantas workers that this side of the chamber need to apologise for standing up for working men and women? That is one of the worst contributions, and I will debate you in every city, every town, every yard, every shop floor in this nation, and you will not win. You will not win. You are so mischievous the way you dare try and insinuate that the Qantas workers' wages was the reason they got the big A. Why, they didn't even get a meeting or a letter. You know how they got the sack? Are you aware, Senator Stoker, because you're so well informed? No, you've got no idea.
Senator Sterle, I just remind you to make your remarks to the chair.
Sure,
Thank you. And
through
I
the
remind
chair.
other senators
Do
that
you know? You have no
interject.
idea they got an SMS. Now, before we start talking about the disgraceful rates of pay that Qantas workers demand, they were negotiated over the years. They were negotiated by the workers on one side, represented by their unions, and by management on the other side. You know why? Because I've been in the room for a number of them. Qantas EBA Mark III, Qantas EBA Mark IV. They weren't there was no gun to their head, Qantas. They did it. But you see, Senator Stoker, you need to understand, these jobs are still there. Your government has thrown taxpayers' dollars out like confetti to Qantas, $800 million for JobKeeper, over $1 billion all up, your government. And you know what Qantas are doing? They're giving this— oh, I nearly did that. I won't do that. Sorry, Chair. They're giving you this, right? This is what they're saying to you. Thank you very much. Because we're not only going to get rid of the workers, we want their jobs to come back with companies that will pay not even Australian standards. They won't pay the superannuation guarantee charges that we are seeking. They will fight like hell. And you make it sound like Qantas are going broke. Guess what, Senator Stoker? And I'm not allowed to say this as she walks out the chamber. Ah, you hypocrite. What hypocrisy. You couldn't wait to bag out other senators.
Senator Sterle, it is not okay to take poetic licence. So
I'm sorry, Madam Deputy President. Hypocrisy, really, you know, rank hypocrisy with me really gives me a nut in the guts, and there's a classic example. Now, Qantas, Madam Deputy President, have actually said they're going to be in the black in 2 months. So what does it take to get through the head of that side of the chamber? Qantas have used a pandemic for the opportunity to outsource jobs that are there and will be there. As the borders come down and we kick in, and you watch all the flights come on the screens next week, you watch all the flights coming for Christmas, and dare I may ask, check how much it cost all of us to get here to Canberra, because we all probably came on Qantas, unless the ones that drove. Check the prices that Qantas are charging us to go home. Make no mistake about that, they're having a ball. They can't help it. They're rubbing their greedy hands together. They won't have any skin left. But I've got to tell you, my disdain for Mr Joyce, Madam Deputy President, is not a secret in this place. I've had many, and you were at one of my inquiries when he shut down the airline. Oh, remember that magnificent piece of bastardry for not only the Australian travellers, worldwide Aussies trying to get home. Oh, we forgot about that. But he's got 8 other accomplices. He's ably backed up, and I am calling for this mob must resign. Joyce must lead the charge and resign, because there's no guts on that side. The Prime Minister's lacking guts. He's too busy flicking money with his hand in hand with Mr McCormack for their mates at Rex. But I'll tell you what about Richard Goyder, the chairman? Why should he escape scrutiny while he's on his $584,000 of Qantas's money? Qantas's money, not earned by the greedy board, by the 30,000, Madam Deputy President, you used to represent Qantas workers, and your great union stood up for Qantas workers for many, many years. And you know the negotiations we've had. $584,000. Mr Goyder did not make Qantas great. The workers made it great, but he couldn't wait to get his claws into the till, ably backed up, as I said, by Mr Joyce. Maxine Brenner for her $364,000. Jacqueline Hay, her $211,000. Belinda Hutchinson, and she gets an AC, I don't know what for, $283,000. Michael Lestrange, there's another set of initials, an AO, $223,000. Todd Sampson, that's the last time I'll ever watch him on TV. What a state of hypocrisy that fella shows. And there's Anthony Tyler, Barbara Ward and Paul Rona. What a terrible, terrible situation. 2,000 families going into Christmas.
Thank you, Senator Sterle. Your time has expired.